Okay, here's how to take quizzes on D2L. The first thing to note is that faculty who put quizzes on D2L, they may call them tests, it might be an exam, whatever it is. If they say you're taking it on D2L, it's going to be found under the quizzes button. Quizzes is just the interchangeable term for an objective test, multiple choice, true, false, that will be graded by the computer. If you come into here, this will give you an overview of tests that can be taken in your course and when the dates are that it's available to be taken. And this is the first thing that you want to be mindful of. Faculty program dates on these, start date and an end date, the earliest time you can take it, and the cutoff time after which you can no longer take it. So the way this works is these will usually have time limits on them, so maybe like 10 minutes to take it, but you can begin any time between this day and that day. And once you started, you have 10 minutes to work on it. So that it's meant to be understood. This is the date range in which you can choose to take it, but once you start, you only have maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's going to break down for you quizzes that are currently open, quizzes that are scheduled to be in the future. Now this might not be every quiz you have in the future. They do pop quizzes now. And also quizzes that were available to be taken on D2L but have ended. The availability date has ended. So if you look at, be mindful of the dates on these to plan your week. Over here on the right, this tells you how many, the 0 out of 1 means that you have one attempt on this, but you've used 0 so far. So that basically is its way of saying you haven't taken this yet, and you get one attempt. This one, the professor set it up to take, you can take it twice. And usually it'll be, you get the highest of the 2 grades or the average of the 2 grades depending. So if you ever have this, past quizzes, 0 out of 1 attempt, that unfortunately for this student means that he missed the boat on that one, and he forgot to take it. So after you've taken a quiz in here, it will flip to show 1 out of 1 or 1 out of 2. 0 will turn into a 1. So keep an eye on this, keep an eye on the dates. If you haven't already set up notifications or have the D2L app to remind you of these things. So let's say I'm ready to take reading quiz chapter 11, 12. It's open now. I have until the 29th to take it. That's tomorrow. So if I click on it, it's going to give me some more details here. It's going to tell you, again, when it's available to be taken, how long you get once it's open. So pay attention to that. That's going to give you an idea of how long the quiz is and how much time you might want to set aside for it. The way this is interpreted is the latest that I can open this to start it is 10:56 a.m. on the 29th. But once I've started it, I still get 10 minutes. So you can take it any time between here and there. I get 10 minutes to work on it. And if you use up the 10 minutes, that varies. Most faculty set it up so that you can't save any more answers and you have to submit what you have. It's rare that they'll set it up that you fail it. Most of them set it up so it's approximate to the classroom. Time's up, it takes what you've saved, and that's it. So once I'm ready to go, I hit Start Quiz, and it's going to display the questions for me. Question 1, multiple choice. Click your bubble for what you want to pick, and you can see it says saved there. So you don't have to save or anything. As you work, it remembers what you've submitted. Sometimes you're going to see fill in the blank questions. These are a little less common. If you ever see these, spelling usually counts. And now and then you're going to see essay questions in these. If you have essay questions, these do get graded by a computer or by the professor. So the 5 points that come from this won't be put onto my score that it shows me at the end. So it's going to be a little low. These 5 points will get added later. And this quiz is set up over several pages. So I've just done page 1. I don't want to hit submit quiz right now. If I hit submit quiz, it would warn me, hey, you didn't do the last 2 pages, so I hit next page. Unfortunately, this one is set up so that I can't go back So I hit yes, I'm sure I'm done with this page. Now I'm on page 2. Again, you just click the bubble for your answer. Now, if I have a computer problem while I'm taking this, if my computer freezes, if my internet goes down, I have trouble, here's what to do. Don't email your professor, don't call the help desk, and don't give up. If your computer freezes, restart your computer, log back into D2L, and you can resume the test where you left off. So I'll show you. If I X out of here, go back to the D2L homepage, I've left the quiz, I've signed out, I've signed back in. If I go back into the course, and I go back to quizzes, it's going to say you have an attempt in progress. There's a red star there. That means that I haven't submitted yet. If I click on it, continue quiz, I can pick up where I left off. If you leave the quiz, the timer keeps going. So this does not stop if you leave the quiz. So don't get the idea that you can exit, the timer stops, you can look up answers and come back in. That is not the case. So again, I go next page. Say me, hey, you can't go back on this one, and then I can finish. And then once I've done everything, you see these turned into checks. That means you've answered the questions, you didn't miss any. I hit submit quiz. You sure? Yes. And I say, you're really sure? Yes. And here we go. So in this instance, it's showing me. This varies depending on your professor. This professor has set it up so that I can look at the questions I got wrong, but that's it. So I can go through here. It says 0 out of 5 points. The essay ones are always going to do that. Don't worry if you see that and it's a one you have to type an answer. The professor grades this. Those points get added later. But here's what I missed, and there's my score. And again, that's not necessarily my score. I could have up to 5 points added on later for that essay when the professor grades it, and I can click done. I can go back and visit that at any time. If I go back, see here, that 0 turned into a 1, I can click feedback, click here to review. That just takes me back into that feedback screen. If I'm getting ready for the final and I want to look at what I missed in the past, well, there it is. If I want to go look up and see, look up what the right answers were and help me study, that's how you do it. So that's your quizzes list. Some other things to know about this. Your professors can see when you began the quiz, when you submitted the quiz. Oftentimes the question order will be scrambled. So if you try to take it with somebody, there's no stopping you unless they have, there's rare scenarios where they'll use special software, but a lot of time they'll scramble the answers, or they'll do a really narrow time limit to make it difficult to collaborate. Sometimes they won't. But that's the things that you should keep in mind about these. Pay very close attention to these due dates. Review this page now, regularly. Make sure you don't have a current quiz that you haven't taken. If it says current quiz and there's a 0 there, that means you have not taken it yet. Look at that date. Make sure it does not turn into a past quiz with no attempt. That's bad. That means I missed the boat. So that is what you need to know about quizzes in D2L.